to my channel, welcome to my kitchen. Today I have a recipe to share with you, pepperoni rolls. It's Friday and so I want to have a snack prepared for my kids when they get home from school. So the kicker is though that they don't like pepperoni. I don't know why. As a child I loved pepperoni. I mean pepperoni with rice, pepperoni sandwiches, pepperoni on crackers, extra pepperoni on pizza. To this day I love pepperoni still. So I'm hoping that this recipe will convince them that pepperoni is the snack of a lifetime. So this is a bread dough recipe with some add-ins of pepperoni and mozzarella cheese, so it should be really delicious. Let's get started. You'll need 1.5 cups of warm water, 1 teaspoon of yeast, ½ teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and then 2 tablespoons of sugar divided. I have 1 egg at room temperature, a 1/3 cup of oil, lastly 4 cups of flour. I forgot to add that for the dough you will also need a ½ cup of mozzarella cheese. When making any type of bread dough, my first step will always be activating the yeast. So I am going to put the 1 teaspoon of yeast into that warm water, which is approximately 110 degrees. If you have it too hot, it'll kill the yeast, and if it's too cold, it may not activate. And then I'm gonna put in that tablespoon of sugar, and I'm gonna let it sit here for about 5 minutes until this mixture is nice and foamy. Okay guys, it's been a few minutes. The yeast mixture is now nice and foamy, so we're ready to put the rest of the ingredients in here with the flour and get it kneading. So I am going to make a little well in the 4 cups of flour, and then I'm just going to pour the rest of the stuff in. The mozzarella cheese. Got to get all that goodness in there. 1/3 cup oil, my egg, and this yeast mixture. It smells yeasty. Make sure I get all the stuff on the bottom. I'm just that way. I always make sure I scrape everything. It's all good. I have my stand mixer fitted with the dough hook attachment. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can certainly knead it by hand. So I'm gonna stir this all together until everything kind of combines and incorporates. So it's a little wet here today in my city, so I could potentially need a little bit more flour to ensure it's not overly sticky. You just scrape the sides. It's really wet. So my dough is really, really wet. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of flour. Really wet. Okay, so my dough has come together. I'm gonna go ahead and let this knead for about 5 to 7 minutes until it's nice and elastic. Okay guys, my dough has been kneading for about 7 minutes, and so it was still extremely sticky, so I added about a cup of extra flour, and it was still sticky after that, but I didn't want to add anything additional because this is my first time making this recipe, and I was worried that the dough would be a little bit too dense. So no worries, it's still very nice. It's just really sticky and will probably be hard to work with when we roll it. But we're gonna roll it out and make some pizza rolls. So for the filling, I have some turkey pepperoni and mozzarella sticks. I would actually prefer shredded mozzarella cheese, but we have this in the, see it's really sticky. We have this in the fridge. I don't know if my kids will eat it, and I don't want it to go to waste, so I'm gonna use the mozzarella sticks for when we roll this up. So what I'm gonna do is divide this dough ball into 2 pieces. So let's get this in a nice little ball and put it to the side. I usually don't like to even put additional flour after it's all been kneaded, but I mean, it's so sticky that it's necessary. Okay, scrape it up with your scraper, a little bit more. Flour your surface. And I'm just gonna let it rest for a little bit because I've been working with it, so it's kind of springy. And then when I get back, I will roll this out. Okay, so the dough has rested for a little bit. I am going to roll it out to about a 12 by 18 inch rectangle. So I got it all rolled out into a roughly 12 by 18 inch rectangle, and I went ahead and sliced it into 8 pieces. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add the pepperoni and the mozzarella sticks and roll them up, and then I will place them on this half sheet parchment, or no, half sheet pan lined with parchment paper. So I'm just gonna show a couple, and then I will do the rest and show you when I get there. Maybe a little bit more pepperoni. All right, roll number 1. Do one more. I'm gonna place the pepperoni on the bottom. 2. Let's go with 6. And then place the mozzarella stick. I'm doing about half a mozzarella stick. Rolling it up. And I'm only doing half because remember, there's a little bit of mozzarella in the dough as well. So here's number 2. And then I will do the rest. Okay guys, I have rolled out 8 pepperoni rolls, and remember I only used 1/2 of the dough that we made. I am preheating my oven to 350 degrees. I'm gonna let this rest for 30 minutes, and once it's risen a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the oven for about 20 to 30 minutes until it's done, and when it is done, I will bring it out and show you what it looks like. So after the pepperonis rested for about 30 minutes, I went ahead and melted 2 tablespoons of butter, added a half teaspoon of granulated garlic, and I spread that with a brush onto 4 out of the 8 pepperoni rolls. I then put it in the oven that was heated to 350 degrees, and I baked it off for about 25 minutes. And here we are now. So my smart self didn't pinch the end, so of course a lot of the cheese oozed out from the sides, but that's okay because I enjoy some crispy mozzarella. These have cooled for a little bit. I'm kind of scared to bite into it because hot cheese can burn your tongue and you won't be able to taste things for like 3 weeks. Let's go ahead and try one. I got a plate. I'm gonna try this one. Oh my God. So this one, the cheese didn't ooze out as much. Win. And then I usually just bite into it, but like I said, it's hot, so I'm gonna cut into it like a lady. Yummy. It looks good. Ooh, steaming hot. Mmm. Mmm. Do you want some? It tastes really good. I'm gonna let this cool. And then I'm gonna give my daughter some. She is awake from her nap. I think next time I'm gonna chop up some pepperoni and mix it into the dough. Of course you can dip it into some marinara sauce or with some ranch, but I didn't have any ready, so I don't have that. So, hold on. Good? Yummy? More? 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 She's doing more with Lulu. So, baby approved. Hopefully my kids, my 2 older kids who don't like pepperoni will like it as well. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you try this recipe, and if you do, comment down below if you like it or not, or if you have your own recipe, please share it with me. I would love to try it out. I love doing bread recipes. Thank you for watching. Mwah. Mwah.